it's our last video lesson together. This is really, I don't know about you, but it's been really fun for me and Dobie Joe. She's gotten a lot of biscuits. The biggest lesson I think I've learned through all this is not to hide her dog treats in the pouch of my hoodie. Yeah. Anyway, let's take a look at page 70 before we say goodbye to each other on this. I wanted to give you some minor chords to work on. One of the minor chords that we didn't really practice in this book is our D minor chord. And a really cool way to learn your D minor chord sounds like this. You're going to strum 4 strings, starting with your D string root note. That's your D minor chord, okay? A really, really, really cool way to learn this D minor chord is to practice E7 with those 2 fingers. The same 2 fingers go to the A minor 7, and then the same 2 fingers drop down to the D minor, and you add your 3rd finger, okay? So let's try that. Great exercise, it says, to practice our new D minor chord. We're going to strum each one of these chords 4 times, okay? On the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Let's go back to E7. Back to E7. 2, 3, 4. A minor 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our new D minor chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, if you can set your metronome and do those exercises over and over again. The other thing that's important about that metronome is you're using it to make sure that you're not stopping between measures, so that you're not playing at a steady tempo and then the whole world stops for you to get your bearing again and start over. That's part of using that metronome. That's the biggest part of what it's for, is to keep you steady. And that's why you always have to play slowly enough for it to be continuously steady. So important, right? Okay, now, right below that, choose a chord shape substitution if the barred version is overwhelming. So a B minor and a C sharp minor chord looks exactly alike, okay? B minor, what we're doing is we're laying our first finger down, and it's going to look an awful lot like the F chord that I taught you. The exception is that this is in the shape of an E right here. When you play an A minor shaped bar chord, all of these fingers come back into an A minor position, and your root note is now on the 5th string. Okay? All right. So for some reason I chose to give you the B minor and the C sharp minor chords here instead of a C minor. I'll show you that one too. B minor, that's the full bar version of it. Okay? You can also use modifications that look like the second diagram I gave you, 4 strings. And you can even take it all the way down to 3 strings. Okay? The 3-string version is much less satisfying than this big 5-string version. But you know what? If that's the only version you can get, it's enough. It's enough just to be able to play it with those 3 fingers on those 3 strings. Make sure when you do these modifications that you're only playing the strings I'm telling you to play. Those 3. If you played all 6 strings, that's what it sounds like. That ain't pretty. Okay? So B minor. Okay? Now if I take that same chord shape, if I take it up 1, 2 frets to the 4th fret, I've got a C sharp minor. Okay? I can do the abbreviation or the modification like that for the 4 strings, or I can do the 3-string version. Okay? All right? Now the neat thing about bar chords is that every time you go up the neck, you're just raising it up 1 letter or 1 note on the piano keyboard. Okay? So if this is a B minor on the 2nd fret, if I take this up to the 3rd fret with my bar, that's a C minor chord. And then I showed you on the 4th fret, that's a C sharp minor chord. That's a C sharp minor chord. Okay? Now I've shown you the B minor and the C sharp minor chord because I've got them on the next page and I want you to know how to play them. So let's turn the page. Page 71. This is our last page in the book. I want you to really put some effort into practicing this. You can play these chords and these chord progressions. You can play any one of the strumming patterns I've taught you. You can strum 4 times, whatever you want to do. But if you memorize all these chords on this page. I guarantee you are going to be ready to cook, all right? Now, across the top of the page, I've shown you how to play an F chord, okay, using the E shape, all right? Now, if we lift up our middle finger, that F chord that I taught you how to play, if we lift up the middle finger, that becomes an F minor, okay? If I take it to the 2nd fret, it's an F sharp minor, okay? F sharp minor is a good chord to know. All right, the abbreviation for that would be just using your 3rd finger on the 4th fret, just like the diagram shows, and laying your 1st finger across the 2nd fret there. Okay, another way to do it is to just use 1 finger across these 3 strings. And remember, if you do it that way, you can only play those 3 strings. I don't want you to play this one. Okay, it changes the chord entirely. Just play those 3 strings. You can also use these 3 fingers to play those. Because guess what? The F sharp minor chord shows up a lot in the key of A. So if you're playing an A chord like you normally do, and all of a sudden you have an F sharp minor, the easiest way to get to it is to take those fingers down to the first 3 strings. Once again, it's not quite as satisfying. This 3-string guy isn't quite as satisfying as that, but it's as good as it needs to be, all right? It'll work just fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do for this last little page is I'm going to start in the key of A, and I'm going to play all of the chords all the way down the page. Key of A, C, D, G, and E. And I'm going to do the boom diddy on each one of them, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. A, B minor, C sharp minor, F sharp minor. We're going to go to our C chord next. C, D minor, E minor, everyone's favorite F, G, A minor. Here comes our D chord. D is in dog. E minor, F sharp minor, G, A, B minor. Next we're going to G. Here we go. G, A minor, B minor, C, D, and E minor. Now this last one's no fun at all. Here we go. E major. Lots of bar chords here. F sharp minor. I'm going to take that to the 4th fret. G sharp minor. Wow. A, B7. We're going to end on a C sharp minor, C sharp minor. Okay? All right. So when you're playing a song in the key of A, what that means is you're probably going to have a D and an E in there. And if you have any surprise minors, they're going to be a B minor, a C sharp minor, or an F sharp minor. So practicing all of these lines, you're going to be pretty darn good in all of these keys. And these are all the most important keys to learn how to play in. All right, on the last page, I've got a little cartoon of Dobie Joe and I, and Dobie's sleeping, and not unlike she's doing right now. She's kind of asleep right there. I really appreciate you taking this adventure with me. It means a great deal to me. I've been doing this for a long time, and I feel like I've got a kind of a different approach to teaching that seems to be rather successful with people who have tried different things and almost given up. So thanks for trying this with me. You've done a great job. I know you have. If you've gotten this far, I know you've done a great job. You can visit us on social media. We're always going to be around. I'm teaching more mountain dulcimer these days than the guitar. Although the guitar was my bread and butter for many, many years, suddenly the mountain dulcimer is the thing that a lot of people are hiring me to do. I can teach you how to play the mountain dulcimer as well. It's a great amount of fun. People don't realize how much you can do on 3 strings. But anyway, thanks so much, and find me on social media if you have questions or if you just want to visit, ask me anything. Dobie Joe, thank you for all your patience. You've been a good girl. Okay, thanks so much for hanging out with us, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.